A word to men of third world nations. The 6.7 billion people who call this planet home are divided into various categories. The large sector has become identified as third world nations. The term third world is one that is despised and resented by many who interpret it to mean inferior, poor, undeveloped, and backward. This term was coined many years ago by an economist at a G5 meeting in Geneva as an attempt to define the world in economic terms. The intent was not to degrade any people, group, but rather to identify nations that fell within a common historical grid that resulted in their having common socio-economic conditions and other similar characteristics. Technically speaking, the term was an attempt to describe a grouping of people who were not allowed to develop or maximize their true potential because they were victims of colonial oppression or regimens that suppressed their creative and progressive instincts of the masses. The vast majority of them were not allowed to participate or benefit directly from the Industrial Revolution, but rather were victims of it by being used as human fuel, slaves for the engines of industry. Many of these people are products of slavery, colonization, indentured servitude, or ideological oppression. The group that is known today as Third World makes up more than 2/3 of the world's population and compromises every race, color, ethnic background, and nationality. Third world nations therefore include billions of people still struggling to find their place in the global scheme of social, technical, and economic advancements. The nature of their history, slavery, displacement, social abuse, and cultural emasculation rendered many of these people without a sense of self-worth or a clear self-concept. Many were torn away from their families, traditions, and culture, abandoned to survive in a world with definitions to guide them. The impact on the males in these historical tragedies was most dramatic. They were stripped of their human dignity, sense of manhood, masculinity, and understanding of purpose. The results were devastating as many of these men lost hope, self-esteem, and meaning in life. They saw themselves as victims of history with no sense of what a real man was to be. If you fall into this historical grid as a third world man and want to rediscover your true manhood and dignity of what it is to be a male in God's divine order of creation, this book was written to help you to do just that. Remember, your past is not your future, and you are not a victim of your history. I challenge you to embrace the joy, responsibility, and honor of being a male made in the image of God. I challenge you to embrace the joy, responsibility, and honor of being a male man in the image of God. You have an obligation to restore the true image of manhood and to establish a model for our sons of this new generation. It is now your time to be proud of a third world man. It is now your time to be proud to be a third world man. The first world man of Europe has failed to present the picture of a true man of God's image. The second world man of the New World and Industrial Revelation has also failed to present the original image of God's man. Now, you are the last world, the final world, the third world. It is your turn to rediscover the original meaning of what it is to be a real man and to represent the image of God to a world that is in desperate need of a male prototype who will also restore purpose to the female and to children. I'm going to repeat that. Now you are the last world, the final world, the third world. It is your turn to rediscover the original meaning of what it is to be a real man, to represent the image of God to a world that is desperate, that is in desperate need of a male prototype who will also restore purpose to the female and to the children. It is your turn. Do it for our children and make a difference.